Yeah.
I love it.
Okay, so you moved here to raise cattle. Okay.
And from the time I'd moved here, all I heard were UFO stories from the locals, and I'd just giggle and say, we need a UFO watchtower, never thinking I would ever do it. Well, struggled with cows for 4.5 years because they don't eat sand real well. And I had to sell the herd, couldn't feed them anymore. And I was working at the gas station in Hooper, and one of the farmers came in one day and he said, you need to put up that UFO watchtower you've giggled about. You'd have fun. Now you've got to keep in mind, I had never seen anything. I watched X-Files all the time.
I used to love X-Files too.
But I'd never seen anything, and I never expected to when I opened this. We opened in 2000, and from the time that we opened, we started having sightings. And I'm going, oh my God.
You've seen them too?
I've seen 30. Wow. We've had, well, at this point, there's 300 documented sightings, but I only have 298 in there. The others are sitting on my desk, but.
Wow. And tell me, are you seeing the same thing each time? Or, okay. And from different directions, from anywhere?
Different directions.
And when you see them, how close are you seeing them? Are you seeing them right over your head? Or are you seeing them way off in the distance?
The closest one was between here in the mountains and part way down. I called it cigar shape, narrow, really long, and it went zip like that. It was 11 o'clock at night. We had over a dozen people here. Everybody saw it. None of us could figure out what the devil it was, you know.
Daytime, nighttime, or both?
I had it figured out once.
Okay.
Between 11 at night and 3 in the morning. And then we started having the daytime ones.
Wow.
And now I think the daytime outnumber the nighttime.
Interesting. Cloud cover on a day like this just as the opportunities just as available, or mostly on a cloudless day?
Well, it's nice as if it's a cloudless day, but you can still
They can still come behind.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fun.
And then I saw in the corner when I read the little panel there that you've had psychics come and they've detected vortices.
Uh-huh.
2 of them, is that right?
2 of them.
Right here on your land in the corner.
Right here in the front. And, you know, they would all come in. I might as well tell you the whole story.
I loved it. I'd love to hear it.
And say the exact same thing. Why did you put this here? I don't know, it just felt right. You know, the guys were going to put it over there, and I said, no, it's got to come this way. And when they got here, this is it. Well, you hear the same thing over and over and over, and you start to believe it. Because they also said, you realize there's a crashed ship under here. No, I didn't realize that. So I just let that go. Okay, but every one of them said the same thing. Well, finally,
the psychics.
Huh?
The psychics have all said that.
The an older gentleman from Albuquerque was in here one day, and he started in on it. And I finally said, you better start asking questions, Judy. Enough is enough. And I said to him, can you see it? And he says, oh yeah. And I said, well, how deep is it? And he said, about 50 feet.
Okay, so.
I let it go. Well, 3 days later, here comes another one. She starts in on it. And I said to her, can you see it? And she says, oh yeah. And I said, well, how deep is it? And she said, about 75 feet, but I see it going up and down. Made sense to me because we've got this huge aquifer under us.
Oh.
Yeah. And I said, well, how big is it anyway? And she said, my good God, girl, how much land do you own? And I said, why? And she said, It's a mothership. It's a mile long. I own 1 square mile. Yeah.
I just got chills.
So then a few weeks later, here come a couple more. And she started in on it, and I said, can you see it? Oh yeah, it's like it has moss growing all over it. Again, the aquifer. And I said, well, how big is it anyway? And she said, about as big as the garden, the berm on the garden in the front, and about that big in the back. But you go inside of it, it's a mothership. It's a mile long. So I had her draw me some pictures.
Judy, this is fantastic.
I know.
I'm so
I
entertained
don't
right now.
tell
It is
many people.
Thank you
about
But
so
thank
much.
you.
I am going to write it down.
Oh, please do.
Put it in a
And
book.
thanks for letting my wife.
I know. This is fascinating.
This
Heaven
is what
forbid
it
the
looks
story be
like
lost.
with the moss.
And who drew this?
The psychic.
So what you're telling me is that it's potentially floating. The wreck is floating on the aquifer,
Right.
just kind of bobbing up and down, 50 to 75 feet underneath you.
About that.
And
That's looking down on the
the
top.
size of this garden, but once you're inside, it kind of extends.
That's
down
what
to the
she
line.
says, yeah. And then this is where it is in comparison to the dome and the tower.
Right underneath.
Yeah.
Wow. How fun is that?
Kind of fun.
So have you done any real geographic forensics works, like had people here with LiDAR and
Well,
sonar?
my question was, are you
That'd be
watching
interesting.
Skinwalker Ranch?
Yeah, and I said we got the same stuff going on here.
Absolutely.
that they've got
So
on
have
there.
you seen Beyond Skinwalker Ranch?
No, and they're supposed to be here in December.
I was about to say you
Stop
need
it.
to invite them here
This would be
because
so much fun.
Yeah. Christopher O'Brien, are you familiar with him?
yes,
Well, he's bringing them here in December. So, and, you know, I watch the episodes of Skinwalker, and I said, for crying out loud, we got the same stuff here. Now, the Navy came to visit me.
This is so much fun.
okay.
And, yeah, I've still got it open here. But it was 6 high-ranking officers.
Okay.
And the funny thing is they called me and to make the appointment, and they said, you may not take pictures, video, audio, nothing while we're there. And I said, okay. So they pull up, and this one guy gets out, reaches into the back seat and pulls out a black trench coat. And I'm going, uh-oh. My son is retired Navy, and he insisted on being here
Absolutely.
when they came.
Good for him,
'cause He
yep.
was familiar with them. And the same guy with the trench coat put on these sunglasses, never took them off the entire time he was here. And Larry says, did you notice that? And I said, yep. And he said, that's because they had cameras.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yep.
Mhm. So anyway, then Larry says to me, for God's sakes, Ma, don't you dare tell them about the crash ship. I did.
Okay.
They didn't seem the least bit shocked.
Like they
I mean,
believed
like,
it. Oh, they weren't shocked.
No, and they were here a couple of hours. Then,
How long ago was this?
let me look here. Then about 3 months later, they sent me it's 15. They sent me a packet of a report, and it said, for your eyes only. I still have it over at the house. At the end, it says, not human. And I thought, okay, we know what we're doing, huh?
It's what did it say about not human?
It went into all the details of what I had told them here and the other places that they went to visit. And at the end it says not human.
How interesting.
We know that. Come on,
Yes,
folks.
it's true. We are not alone.
No.
But it's interesting that it's a Navy thing and not an Air
Well,
Force
it's
thing.
been that way.
It has been with the ships.
Forever.
Yep, the ships is that's I was. We were just talking about this a few days ago. It's like, why is it always? It seems like the Navy and the military are seeing more. I don't know if they've got the equipment or.
Are these the gentlemen who
Yeah.
visited you?
This guy, he's commander of the Coast Guard, pulled out his cell phone and showed me a picture of one coming out of the ocean.
Of a UFO.
Uh-huh.
Was it a video he showed you?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
I've had some fun experiences.
So can I ask, do you contend that their visit was sincere curiosity or with malicious intent? They weren't here to bury what you had observed. They were
No.
here to find out inquisitively
Find
and
out
sincerely.
what we've observed, you know,
Okay.
and what was going on. Because this has gotten so much attention.
Yeah.
And blown my mind. But anyway, you know, before I even opened this, I did over 250 radio interviews.
Oh,
And
neat.
then since opening, it's a television station,
Well,
somebody
I was
else
going to
doing
say,
a
if big
documentary.
cable makes it here, be careful, my dear, because you're going to be busy.
Yeah, you will be.
Yeah. Probably in a good way, right?
Yeah.
You can get some.
And I can't believe how much the business has picked up in the
That's
last
great.
few years. I mean,
It's easier than cattle farming.
oh God, kinda.
You're fine.
They should pet the cows.
That's funny.
Different kind of busy.
Yeah, I guess so.
Anyway, yeah, we had about 10,000 go through last summer, and 10,000 the summer before. And when you have that many folks going through, I mean, it's really busy, you know.
It does.
And there's me working alone, or I have a little friend, and she comes in and work a few days. But we go home at night, and we're tired.
Yeah, you're running retail.
I'm getting old, you know. I'm pushing 80. I mean, come
Stop it,
on.
really?
Oh, yeah.
What?
I'll be
You're
79 in March
March
Okay.
8th.
March 4th.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I joined the Marine Corps March 8th.
Did you?
Yeah. Many years ago. Long time.
Good memories.
Good memories, yes. Yeah, of course. So do you ever sit out here by yourself and chill? Do you get to make sure you get the opportunity to enjoy it, right?
I do.
Oh, I have another question, and this will surface when you watch the Beyond Skinwalker Ranch. There's one particular episode. There may be one particular one where this gentleman feels like he has a definite connection. He can anticipate when they're going to appear. He feels that there is some kind of telepathic connection with the craft, and when he goes outside, he'll sense it. Yeah, I don't want to give away the episode,
Okay.
but so do you feel like you've been able to, like, you have some kind of connection? Okay.
I feel their presence.
Yeah.
You know, I had a guy call me wanting to camp, and he says, well, if I come and camp there and give you the $15, do you guarantee I'll see something? I said, you know, if I could guarantee that.
Yeah, that's right. You'd be paying.
But oh, sorry, I just wanted to ask you about that connection. Do you, how do you describe that connection that you feel like?
It's telepathic,
Yeah.
you know, and the psychics told me that there's two large beings out here that protect the entrances to the vortexes, but they're also here to help. And in my mind, and I don't know if I'm going really wacky or not, I can see them. I can see a picture of them. They're tall, white, and they don't hurt anybody, and they're there to help people.
Wow. Is that like a skinwalker? I don't know. Or it's just an entity.
Be more of an entity. Are you familiar with Stephen Greer?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because he talks about the telepathic connection in the fifth dimension and connecting with, they're not extraterrestrial, they're non-human intelligence, right? Because extraterrestrial contends that they come from a different planet. And Stephen Greer's like, no, it's a little more abstract than that. They may share our space in a different dimension. Right? Yeah.
You know, and that's what it is. And yeah, Stephen has been here a number of
times. Has he?
times.
Okay. Yeah. I just became familiar with him, so I've been looking at his...
He's a good one to follow.
He's, I think, really plugged into... Yeah, I think he's...
Did you hear about when he went into the woods to meditate?
Mm-mm.
And when he came out of his meditation, he was surrounded with animals and one E.T.
No.
Yeah.
Was this...
This has been years ago, but kind of fun.
Wow.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know he does do... I don't know what he calls them, but he does sessions, right?
The workshops.
The workshops, yeah. So he has people come and he connects with them. And I think that's what's most controversial about him, but that's what he contends is the most certain part of his belief system.
Some of his students came here. They were having a session on Crestone, and they came here at night, and they wanted to practice here.
Okay.
And said, okay, and so everybody meditates and everything. Well, after they came out of the meditation, they saw a light over here that was blinking. So they blinked at it twice. It blinked back twice. Then it moved. And he blinked at it twice, and it blinked back twice. And then it moved again, the same scenario. Well, I had some girls from Alamosa that used to come here all the time. And so I was telling them about this guy using this high-powered flashlight and all the blinking and stuff. And next thing I know, they show up and they have their little old podunk flashlight from home. And I kind of chuckled inside, I ain't gonna do it. Off to the northeast, there were 4 lights, and they formed the corners of a rectangle.
Okay.
Well, the one in the lower right-hand corner was flashing colors. So 2 of the girls get out in the garden, and they flashed at it and flashed at it and flashed at it, and it didn't do anything. They gave it to the 3rd girl. She flashed at it, and it went berserk and in a circle and across it. I mean, just...
On the horizon?
Yeah, it was just right over here. And everybody's hooping and hollering, and the other 2 girls grabbed the flashlight, and they flashed. It didn't do nothing.
So you think it connects with individuals?
I really do.
That's what they're finding on Beyond Skin Ranch.
But it did it again with the 3rd girl. She did it again. She flashed at it, and again it went nuts. So anyway,
amazing. And these are the accounts, the 200 plus, nearly 300 accounts of. And these are visitors who've come and captured Reef Summer.
And these are from just here.
Wow.
So someday I'm going to get a hold of this.
Oh, and put it in a book.
I need to get them.
Yes, you do.
Absolutely, you do. That's just so neat.
We're similar, like the lights that dance around and, you know, that type of stuff. We've seen lights that go real fast and just stop, or they're going this way and they just go like that. One night we were watching satellite, and you can tell a satellite, you know, and it's moving across, and it got over here and it stopped. Satellites don't stop.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I questioned the Air Force guys, you know, can our planes go real fast and stop, or can they do these 90-degree turns? And they said, no. If they did that, our bodies would blow up. The G-force would blow us up. Not us. We don't know what you're seeing, but it ain't us.
What's the story with
Snippy. Snippy was the first documented livestock mutilation back in 1967.
And is this authentic Snippy?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
And I tried to get her, a veterinarian put her skeleton back together back then. And she was on display at the museum, at the visitor center, at Adams State College. Just moved all over, and then they put her into storage. They said it was UFO related because UFOs were seen prior to finding her carcass. She was totally stripped from the shoulder to the tip of the nose. All that was left were bones. They cut a spot out of the skull to get the brain, no brain. They opened the body cavity, no organs in the body cavity. The whole area around her was radioactive. So I tried, 8-10 years to get her, just to put her on display. And the guy that had her wanted me to sign a contract saying I would put her in a plexiglass case, which I was going to do anyway. And then I would get a $100,000 insurance policy on the bones.
Okay.
Try that one. And then I couldn't use her for any commercial stuff, like postcards and all that. So I just gave it up. I thought, well, this is useless.
Yeah.
2 years ago, his wife called me and she said, John has died and you still want that horse? And I said, yep. So we came to an agreement on price. He had listed her on eBay for $50,000. But she and I came to an agreement, and I bought the horse, built this room for her, and as far as I'm concerned, she'll stay here forever.
That is...
What year was that mutilation?
Yeah, that's a good question.
67.
Okay.
Wow.
And it was on the King Ranch, which is located over here by Mount Blanca. And it's funny because the king, one of the grandsons came here, and this was last year or year before. Anyways, he said, we're trying to find Snippy. Do you know where she's at? I said, yeah, she's in the big building over there.
Get out of town. That's so funny.
And boy, he went berserk. Brought all the family here. Well, then he bought 320 acres down here, and they had a big to-do about the family seeing Snippy again.
Oh, that's so fun.
And I think he's going to have some sort of a thing going next year.
What a rich history. And you thought you were just come down here just to herd cattle.
Yeah.
It's been...
I like the cows.
Cows may not have been your
back to
destiny.
me.
I see Snippy?
Of course. And there's a picture there that shows when they first found her, and it's interesting. See over here? That's when they first found her. Well, this looks like a surgical cut.
Oh, it sure does.
Very interesting. Then they say attacked by ants. I don't think so,
No,
kids.
no.
Don't think so.
But that's how they all are. They're very symmetrical, or they're very, the mutilations are.
Yeah.
Good old Snippy, huh?
Wow.
You can see where they cut the skull open.
Yeah,
Just going around there, you can see.
Oh, up there at the top. Yeah, looking for the brain. Well, congratulations on bringing Snippy back.
I know that was
She's
a.
home now.
Yeah.
She's
That was a good call.
she's gonna be here. We had to verify the bones because they'd sat out in the sun for so long. I mean, when they were at the visitor center, they had her sitting outside, and at the museum, they had her sitting outside. So they were starting to flake off.
Oh,
Yeah.
you rescued her.
Yeah.
X, you want to watch this?
Yeah, sure.
Watch it move.
Yes.
Did you settle with Mr. P?
I don't report any of them to anybody. And I had the Colorado State Director of MUFON come last weekend.
Really?
And she was flabbergasted. And I said, I'm not going to call you people and tell you when we have a sighting. I'm just not going to do it. So get that out of your heads.
Well, I think what you have here is priceless.
Yeah, it is.
This log,